Assalamu alaikum. This is our third lecture and part 2 of the topic arms control and disarmament challenges and opportunities. In the previous lecture, we have concluded on this second point of why that arms control and disarmament are important. So, relating to that second point, I would mention over here that with the use of this nuclear weapon in World War II in 1945, 200,000 people were killed in the blink of eye by dropping a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So after that, thanks God, no atom bomb is used anywhere. Otherwise it would have brought devastating consequences. So, and the third point is that the military technology is more the source of insecurity than the source of security and stability. How? Like, for example, if a state is developing its conventional capacity, if a state is investing in its nuclear program, so automatically the immediate neighbor and this neighbor in the regions would get insecure, and resultantly the states that would get insecure would also go for armament, and this is called security dilemma. Like, for example, if we compare USA and Soviet Union, during the Cold War, they were so much into this arms race that they have invested billion of dollars. Right now, even USA budget is $650 billion. The only F-35 worth so much that we can't even believe. If this money would have been invested in the welfare of the people, today the healthcare of USA would have been better, and they would have been already prepared to fight this COVID-19 emergency situation. But against this security dilemma, if the states minimize their armament, obviously they'll have confidence and they may go for a confidence building measure, and they can trust in each other. And the fourth point is that arms control and disarmament control the proliferation of a weapon. Like, for example, if we control the war through armament or disarmament, obviously the countries are not going to invest in the weapon, and when they won't be investing in the weapon, obviously they won't be coming up with new technology. And here in this anarchic world, whenever a state comes up with some technological development in the military sphere, then its neighboring state or the allies of that country start looking to purchase that very technology for boosting their defense. And related to this proliferation, we have two terms: vertical proliferation and horizontal proliferation. Horizontal proliferation is something to transfer technology from one country to another, whereas vertical proliferation is to work on the quality or quantity of your weapon system. This was all about why the arms control and disarmament is important. Now will come that what are the main hurdles, what are the main challenges and problems while pursuing this arms control and disarmament thing. So the first point we'll discuss over here is the nationalism and concept of sovereignty. If we see the structure of the word, so it is based on nationalism and concept of sovereignty. So due to this belief, every single nation just think about themselves. The word is realistic in nature. They only prefer their own interest. The country, the nation of a particular country doesn't pursue a collective welfare. So that's why They ensure their defense, ensure their military might in order to save themselves against any foreign threat. And the second point is numerical value, like ratio problem, percentage of conventional weapon and role of nukes. uh, for instance, if there are two adversaries, party A is having a nuclear warhead of 100 numbers and the party B is maintaining a nuclear warheads of 200, so obviously the party A would feel insecure that why my adversary or my rival is having 200 nuclear weapons. So the party A would prefer to build more to meet the number of its enemy, and it's only a number game and psychological thing, nothing else. So this is one of the main problem. Like for example, during Cold War and after Cold War, Russia has developed almost 8,000 nuclear weapons, and 8,000 nuclear weapons are enough to destroy the world. Why they have developed 8,000? Only for the self satisfaction that we have enough and we are strong enough. Otherwise 1,000 nukes or 300 nukes, even 100 nukes are enough for them. And rationally, if you speak, even 50 are enough to deter any of the state. And this numerical game is one of the problem, and this is something psychological, and it is quite difficult to convince any of the state to control the number of weapons or volume of conventional weapon. And the third point is there is no trust in between the nations. There is no confidence building measures. Every state is pursuing the theory of realism. Like for example, in between India and China, it is so difficult to develop trust among them. Why? Because they have fought a war in 1962, and they have territorial claim over this Tibet. Tibet is being controlled by China right now, but even India claims it. And other than this, there are other border issues. So again, they have this economic race in between them, and they have ideological difference. India is being supported by the Americans, and America is an arch rival of China right now, because China is emerging massively. So again, how can we bring them on the table, and how can we develop trust in between them? Trust is being developed on a point where there is a common interest between both the parties. Another example I would give over here is of Pakistan and India. Pakistan and India have fought a lot of wars in 1971. That was devastating for Pakistan. In 1965, that has caused losses on the both side. The episode of Kargil, this Pulwama attack, Parliament standoff in 1948. Due to all these things, and like for example, Kulbhushan Yadav was arrested in Balochistan. Recently, 2 days back, I've gone through one of the newspaper that in Gilgit, 2 of the spies, Indian spies, are arrested. So due to all these things, and like for example, even I should mention that India is meddling in the affair of Afghanistan. They are meddling in the affair of Balochistan. So there is a blame game in between these states. So keeping in view all these points, it's quite difficult to maintain trust in between them. And even if we talk about Russia and USA, there cannot be any trust in between them. There cannot be confidence building measures in between them. Though in 1970s, during the period of Ditha, they had somehow a cordial relation with each other. They had gone for several treaties, but that was not enough. That had stopped over there right after the start of this Afghanistan war in 1979. So uh, this trust deficit element is quite difficult in between these states. And again, I would say that the word structure has become in a way that no nation trusts each other, and we have generated a lot of literature on this thing that everyone should pursue their interests. Anyhow, uh, this is something on which the UN should work. Multilateral parties should work upon it, on the issues in different area. And then we have covered 3 points over here in this lecture, and I would share it in the WhatsApp group, and if you would have any query, you can ask me over there. Anyhow, thank you so much for now, and we'll be in touch, and stay blessed, and I'll come up with the third part of this topic in the next lecture. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.